What's up Saab fans around the world, and welcome back to another video. Today is a special one. We are building a complete custom exhaust. So we're going for a 3.5 inch downpipe and a 100 cells racecat, one muffler in the middle of the exhaust, and we are going to bring it down to a 3-inch catback into a twin pipe. And no end mufflers or rear mufflers, so it will be pretty loud, I think. So let's see what I have gotten during my shopping spree. So as you saw in the intro, I filled up the shopping cart with some 3-inch piping. Got two 60-degree bends for the twin pipe in the back. Got 2 meters of straight 3-inch pipe. I got the longest 3-inch muffler they had, which is equivalent to the standard one, except it's 3-inch and full flow. And I got this, they call it multi-pipe, because it's a couple of different degrees of bends, which I think will be kind of perfect for the rear part that you see down here at the rear axle, where you need to be a little bit crooked. So I think we will solve that. And I bought this 3.5-inch piping from KL Racing, and it's I think it's a 60-degree bend and 2 90s. Basically we're just gonna use the bent part of it, so there will be some scrap to these pipes. We're just gonna use the good pieces. So what you will need for this is, of course, the catalytic converter. Got some previous spares, or what you call it, leftovers from old builds. They could be useful. And also here a little piece of 3-inch pipe. I think I will be good since I have this 2-meter pipe. And we got the flex pipe that you need, because the engine moves a little bit, so you can't just go with a stiff exhaust all the way. And we got some exhaust wrap. This is a titanium wrap, which I'm going to use for the downpipe. And we got some stainless steel stripes to install it with. We got one of these lambda plugs that we are going to weld onto the downpipe. Then the second lambda, or the O2 sensor, will go straight into the cat. And the downpipe flange I have stolen from an old 9.3 downpipe, and we are going to combine this with this cone that goes from 2.5 inch to 3.5 inch. So we will shorten it down, but it will look something like that. And we got these for the hangers. We're going to make some custom hangers. We got 2 pieces of V-band flanges, V-band connections, which is super easy to install and remove when you need to pick down the exhaust. We got some hot paint for the exhaust, so you make it black and nice after we have welded it. I got some spare 4.5-inch tips. I'm not going to use twin to each other, I'm just going to go single, one on each side. And we're going to cut away this inside, so it will be a full 4-inch end tip. And of course we got the welder. So I'm not going to go into super detail in every weld, but rather just show you like a time lapse of everything. And I will start with the downpipe. And the important thing is to tighten this down like it should sit after you start to tack weld all the pieces after that. so you get everything correct. And it will be a little bit tricky because it's not a lot of space going out from here. And if you stand straight over it, you will see that the gearbox is interrupting a little bit. So we have to go like on an angle slightly and then down. And one other thing that is super important to think about when you do this, try to get the downpipe as close to the oil tray as possible, because if it gets lower and you're running coilovers, you might be scraping it to the ground. So try to keep it as close as possible, and then we will wrap it with some exhaust wrap so it keeps the heat in the downpipe. And most of the exhaust that you buy aftermarket are like bent to try to follow the shape on the OEM exhaust, but you could easily just go on the 9.5, you could go straight back, so you get a nice flow. So let's get this build going and we will see where it ends up and how it turns out. So the first couple of bends are tacked up. You can see we are pretty close to the gearbox, but it's okay. And now comes the part to do the 60-degree bend in through the tunnel, and then we're gonna aim for the O2 sensor, the rear O2 sensor, to go up in the hole between the drive shaft and the subframe. So it's really easy to connect it just straight up to the engine bay. And then the question is if I should go 3-inch directly after the cat, or if I should continue with 3.5-inch a little way further. I think it will look much nicer if we go down to 3-inch directly after. So as you can see, I have just tack welded two bends right now, and this is all the leftovers. And here are some cuts. So there's a lot of cutting, a lot of measuring, and some little tack welds. So now I'm gonna cut this side of the cat so we can fit the 60-degree bend to the cat. And as I said before, aim for the O2 sensor to go straight up into the engine bay. So a little update. The exhaust is complete on one side at least. Only the exhaust tip missing, but that I'm saving for last so I can get perfect fitment. Otherwise everything is tacked down, so now I'm gonna carefully remove everything from the cat and back, because that's the part that's only tack welded, and I'm gonna fully weld it. Then I'm gonna mount it up again and then start with the other side. So we're gonna make the hole in the spoiler or diffuser and then cut out a hole and run it on this side and also create a hanger for it. So I have fixed the exhaust tips. They used to look like this, so I cut that away so they are just plain and open, and I also polished them pretty quickly. It's not like it should have any super high shine because race car, just a little polished. And I'm gonna paint them black on the inside. I think that will be good. Have you ever heard about Lord of the Rings? Look at all this cutting that's going into building an exhaust. And here are a lot of leftovers. Small pieces, big pieces. When you are welding the V-band flange, make sure it's always clamped down, or else it will be wrapped and skewed, so you will have problem getting them back together afterwards. So starting off with the second half of the twin pipe exhaust. This is the piece that's left, and it contains of 3 pieces, and as of right now they are just stuck into each other. So we are going to use exhaust clamps, one here and one here, And the good thing with that is the exhaust is going to be pretty heavy when it's completed. So it's nice to be able to pick some parts away, and also it gives some adjustability so we can get the exhaust tips in a perfect way. So what I have done now is measured out where it should connect and grind it out a piece. And since I got the whole like bend or the pieces, I can measure exactly where I want the hole in the exhaust. So this should connect right here. We're just gonna get the angle correct and then start to weld this on. And then comes the 60-degree bend and to the back. So let's start tacking this up and we will go from there, because the hard part is you never know where to cut to get the same amount of exhaust gases into each pipe, which is quite nice. It's not that nice to have a twin pipe and only one pipe is smoking. So now we are closing in on the end. The twin pipe has been welded on. The first clamp is on and the second pipe just goes on here. So we're gonna measure so we get the right height. This hole right here, which I just cut out. Not the nicest, but it will do. And then we will mark up the end pipes and also weld on some hangers for this side, because this side doesn't have any hangers originally. So the hangers are done and they come out really solid. I use this like construction iron that is for concrete making and building stuff. It was really cheap and fitted my purpose perfect, because usually the stores in Sweden doesn't always carry like a good assortment of steel. So there's basically two things that I need to have when I'm building an exhaust, and it needs to sit really tight. So on this side I have double hangers, and these rubber hangers came out really good. It barely doesn't wiggle at all, but it still flex up and down, but it's super solid. I think you can hang in it. So that's really good when you go on the track. You don't want it to move around and hit stuff all the time. So let's weld on the tips and then just throw on some heat protection paint to protect the exhaust, but I think this exhaust will hold up for the life of this car. So the exhaust is completed, fully black right now. And now the last couple of parts is to move the O2 sensors to the new downpipe. The first one was no problem. The second one will not come loose. I have tried with rust solvent, I have tried with extreme heat, I have used some long piping to make it, but nothing will do. And I had the spare one and I got a little mad, so I cut it and everything and it wouldn't come off anyway, because this downpipe is destroyed already. So the last thing was to go to the junkyard and pick up a new spare one. So we're gonna install this last piece, then it's time to start the car. And we have done so much to the car. Since it first arrived in the garage, you can see it right here. It has been here for a while, so it definitely needs a wash. But when it entered the garage, it was like basically stock. Now it has upgraded fuel pump, bigger injectors, the full big pack from Do 88 with the charge pipe and the intercooler. And it also has a brand new gearbox together with a new clutch. And now it has the full exhaust. So the car might sound a little bit nervous in the beginning because it needs to adapt to everything. So we will see how that goes, but let's install this one and fire it up. Hörde du någonting? Skojar du? Det vibrerade. It's got a little smoking in here. All this exhaust paint on the downpipe and everything start to steam off. It's perfectly normal, but it looks a little bit scary. This car really needs to see some sunlight very soon. So as of right now, I'm just gonna flush the transmission oil so I get new clean oil in there. I'm also going to paint the calipers yellow, then put the wheels on and take it for a spin. So the next video I'm doing, you will come with me in a ride in the car and see how it performs on the road. Of course we will take it a little bit easy since we're gonna break in the clutch and everything, but I think it's going to be quite amazing. It sounds very loud. My wife just came out and told me that there was vibrations in the whole house, which is nice. And I should point that out as well. I did not build this exhaust because I wanted a loud exhaust. You see all these kids doing muffler deletes and everything. This modification, this exhaust, is pure flow that I'm after. So I don't want any back pressure or any of those negative sides. I just want pure flow and good power numbers. So please subscribe to the channel, comment if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.